right, welcome to 5th grade math. In your previous classes, 4th grade, 3rd grade, whatnot, you should have learned how to multiply two-digit numbers. But when we're entering this world of quarantine, maybe the way that your teacher taught you before is not the same way your parents know, and it's leading to frustrations at home, right? So this video is a review of the algorithm such that your parents and you can solve things in the same way. If you're successful with multiplication already using that 4 boxes method from last year, then go ahead and use it, keep using it, and your parents can just use their method to check the right answer. But this video is specifically for people who want to learn the standard algorithm from when us adults were kids. So here we go. Multiplication, a review of the algorithm for 5th grade acceleration. Now, before we get started though, really, we need to talk about what does multiply actually mean. Because if you missed this lesson from 2nd and 3rd grade, some of you might be awfully confused about how did 8 and 3 make 24, right? To multiply means that you do something a number of many times, right? So 8 times 3 would mean I went 8 plus 8 plus 8. Or I repeated a group of 8 3 different times. Okay, so let's talk about that in what it looks like for pictures. Right now, I have one green circle. Okay, so this shows I have one green circle, and I did it one time. But now I have one green circle, and I did it twice. Now I have one green circle that I did it 3 times. And finally, I have one green circle, and I did that one green circle 4 times. So I would write 1 times 4. Okay, so that's kind of like a 2nd grade reminder. And now we get a little trickier. So here I have a group of 2 red stars. Okay? So if I have 2 red stars, how many groups of 2 red stars do I have? Right now I have one group of 2 red stars. Right? That's one group. Okay? And if I go like this, now I have 2 groups of red stars. Right? So I would say 2 times 2 is 4. I have 2 groups of 2. And now I have 3 groups of 2. But now what do I have? Now I have 3.5 groups of 2. I have 3.5 groups of 2. But if I were to write this problem, I would write 2 times 4. Because now I have 4 groups of 2. Okay? That's just a little quick reminder of what I mean by multiply. All right. We're going to be doing a lot of work with quarters in this video just because most of you can count quarters, and that's literally just multiplying. Okay, so when I ask you, what is this called? You're going to say, this is called a quarter. Yes. But when I ask you, what's its value is 25 cents or 25 hundredths. Okay, a lot of people get confused. A lot of children actually get confused because they think a quarter means 25. A quarter does not mean 25. A quarter means it takes 4 to make a whole. And in this case, it takes 4 quarters to make a whole dollar. So a quarter actually means a fourth. And its value is 25 cents. All right, so if I were to say this problem for you, 25 times 3, or 25 hundredths times 3, some people look at this and freeze out. They go, I don't know how to get started. But you already actually know the answer. You know that what 3 quarters makes. And 3 quarters makes, that's right, 75 cents, right? So I already know my answer is going to have a 7 in it and a 5 in it, right? So let me tell you how to do this. In this standard algorithm, what you do is you first do the ones column, the 5 and the 3, and then you do the 2 and the 3. So we go like this. 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Now I can't write the 15 like this. No, I can only write one digit in the bottom at a time. So if I write the 5 down there, then I move the 1 to the tens column. Okay, so now I do 3 times 2 plus that 1. So 3 times 2 is, and 6 plus 1 is, perfect. So I know my answer is 75, right? And that's why I like using quarters, because it's a good way to check. Now, I don't have the decimal here. We're not worrying about the decimal right now. I'm just reminding you of how the algorithm works. All right, so next one. Now, I'm going to give you some quarters, and you're going to count them. How many quarters do you see? Okay, there's 8 quarters here. What would that math problem look like in the standard algorithm? it looks like this. Okay, so let's start again before you get your piece of paper and do it by yourself. Okay, so here we go. I start in the ones column. I do 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40. And remember, only one number at a time, so I got to move the 4 to the tens column. So now I do 8 times 2 plus 4. So 8 times 2 is, and 16 plus 4 is, perfect, 20. Okay, now I should carry the 2 again, you're right, but I don't have another column. There's not hundreds here or anything. Okay, now just to let you know for the decimal, we know that 25 quarters times 8 does not make $200, right? That's what we wrote. We wrote $200, and that's not right. You see the decimal there, 0.25? So how do you write $2? You gotta take that little decimal and put it right there. Bink. Look at how happy he is, just sitting there snuggled between the 2 and the 0. Okay, so that was just some instruction on how to do it. Now I need you to pause the video and go get a piece of paper and a pencil, and now you're going to write the problem, solve the problem, and check it on this video using the standard algorithm. Okay, so pause and go get that stuff. All right, welcome back. Here we go. I need you to write down this problem. Okay, how much is in one group and how many times did I do that group? Write that problem. Okay, now solve that problem using the algorithm. And this is where you're going to pause the video and then solve it. Now let's read aloud what you did. You wrote 26 hundredths times 8. And your solution should be bigger than $2, right? It should be $2.08. All right, got it? Here comes your second problem. How much is in one group? 27. So the question is, how many times did I do 27 hundredths? I'm sorry, 27 cents. So you're going to pause the video and you're going to write down the problem and solve the problem. Okay, now that you wrote the problem and solved the problem, I want you to read it out loud with me. So here we go. 27 cents times 8 is $2.16. Awesome. Now, the mathematical way to say it without the money would be 27 hundredths times 8 is 2 and 16 hundredths. But we're just getting started. All right, awesome. Now you're going to do some work in your head. Put your paper away. So, first one, what is 25 times 4? Perfect. What is 25? If I know 25 times 6 is 150, what's 25 times 12 in your head? Well, you see how the 6 doubled to 12? Take 150 and double it. 300, and you could do it in your head. Okay, I know that sounds a little tricky, but if you think of it as quarters, you could do 25 quarters, you could do 12 quarters in your head, no problem, right? So if you can do them in your head, awesome. Now practice them using the algorithm when this video is over. I'm going to give you a worksheet where you can practice other ones with the algorithm. That is the end of this video. I'm very proud of the work you did, and I'm going to see you online in group.